Okay, what's going on, everybody? Let's talk about options. Let's talk about the stock market today. So I thought we were going to have a little bit more of a rally than we did. A lot of the stocks that I was following, at least, a lot of the tech stocks, fintech, Facebook, stuff like that, you know, PayPal, Facebook, Square, these stocks had a down day. Now, what's really interesting, and I talked about this about a week ago now, is that it appears that a lot of the big institutional money is starting to cycle out of the tech bubble, right? And that's what it is. It's a tech bubble. But a lot of the institutions are starting to cycle out of the tech bubble, and they appear to be buying the value stocks. So stocks that were up today, ExxonMobil, Bank of America, right? These stocks are on an uptrend as of today, right? So for the value stocks, it's a great way to start off the week. For tech, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the week, right? We could have kind of a bearish week in tech, or at least some of the tech that I'm following. Doesn't really matter to me. You know, I'm going to trade it and make money off of it regardless. Now, one of the things that I sort of came to the realization of this weekend when I was kind of pondering my strategy and what can I do better, what can I hone in on. One of the most important things that I sort of realized is that I've been following too many stocks. In the morning when I'm developing my watch list, and I have 5, 6, 7, 8 different stocks that I'm looking through and, you know, scanning and you know, possibly going to take a trade on. It's just way too many. Okay, so I'm going to, and I saw a video actually by Oliver Velez. If anybody's ever seen that channel, fantastic channel. And he was basically saying that professional traders focus on 1, 2, maybe 3 stocks that they trade on a regular basis, like for day trading, right? I guess this could apply to swing trading or, yeah, like swing trading or more longer term holds than what I'm doing, because I'm kind of scalping these stocks. But Oliver Perez basically said in a video that you know, professional traders, they focus on one stock and they master one stock. So that means they're following and trading one stock. So or 3 at the most. So I kind of got inspired by that, and going into this week, I said, well, I'm just going to follow a couple of stocks. And the stocks that I picked were PayPal, Square, and Facebook. Those are the 3, really PayPal and Facebook. But I do like Square, and Square kind of follows PayPal. They're very similar, right? They're both fintech, and the way that they move is very similar. So those are the 3 that I'm going to be looking at. But it's mainly, well, today was Facebook, right? I only traded Facebook. And we're going to talk about my trades. We're going to talk about the gains today. But that's sort of coming into the week. That's what I wanted to focus on, was kind of taking out a lot of the noise, and you know, scaling back my watch list. Especially as a beginner, I want to get good. I want to get really, really good at trading one stock. I don't want to be kind of like a master of none and, you know, not profitable, right? A jack of all trades, a master of none, you know, not really making a profit. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that really knows the ins and outs of, you know, a couple particular stocks and can trade those stocks on a daily basis. The other thing that I sort of incorporated was moving averages. Okay, the moving averages along with the VWAP. Now, I've been using the VWAP because the VWAP is pretty simple, right? If the stock is under the VWAP, that's a sign that the stock could be bearish, right? Not always the case, but could be. If the stock is above the VWAP, it's a sign that it's probably going to be a bullish day for the stock. Right? And like I said, It's not always the case. Sometimes the stock can kind of hover around the VWAP, kind of going over it and under it. We have days like that as well. But generally speaking, above the VWAP, bullish, below the VWAP, bearish. But I've incorporated moving averages now. And the thing about moving averages is that I think a lot of my losing trades, I was trading against the moving average, right? So now I have a 20-period moving average, like a 20-day moving average, and then I have a 200-day moving average. So I can sort of see the big picture, right? Where is the stock kind of, in the grand scheme of things, but also, the last 20 days. Where is the stock in context with the last, 20 days? And so the moving averages, they kind of just give you validation of where the stock is headed. And I think it really did, make a huge difference in my trade earlier today. I took 2 trades, okay, on Facebook. Let's go ahead and look at the P&L. I guess we'll just get right into it, guys. So, I surprise myself sometimes. We're up over 12%. I guess you could round it up and say 13%. No, we won't stretch it. 12.5 is good enough. 12.6, right? And it's $162. I made $165, but I have to pay the commission, the option commission to my broker. And by the way, Thinkorswim is working beautifully, so we haven't really had a problem today. It's been fantastic. But, this is a screenshot from my account. I'm really happy about it. I really wanted my account to be over 1,300 today, right? Like, that was my goal last week, was to try to get my account over 1,300. And now on a Monday, after 2 really good trades, the first one was really good. The second one was okay. But after 2 trades on a Monday to have my account over 1,400, almost 1,500, it's a blessing. God has blessed me with the inspiration, right? I really want to say this. God has blessed me with the inspiration, the motivation to really go after this, to chase this like it's the only thing that matters to me in the world. And I really do feel like a huge sense of gratitude that I even stumbled upon stocks and trading, right? Because I was never thinking about this a year ago, 2 years ago. Like, the crash in March, I hate to say it, but that there was a good thing that came out of all of this, stuff that's going on in the world right now. A good thing came out of it for my life. And so I am so thankful to God Almighty that, He's blessed me with not only the market gains and guiding me through my trades, but also just inspiring me, filling me with the inspiration to go after this. So I want to be humble about it, but I'm very, very excited. This is now the second trading day in a row that I've made over 100, over 150. And, Friday I had like a 10% gain in the account. And, today we just smashed that record. Now, I don't expect to do this every day, right? But this is the power of options. I wouldn't be able to really do this if I was day trading stocks, right? The actual equities themselves. This is the power of options trading. So I want to go over my plays with you guys a little bit. It's only 2 of them, and that's actually the beauty, too, of only taking a couple of trades, is that I don't have to log in 10, 12, 15 different, not interactions. What's the word? I can't think of the word. Exchange? Maybe it's exchange that I'm looking for. No. Transactions. Last week I was kind of buying some of these smaller option contracts like on XOM Mobile and Blink and Neo, and I was scaling into them. I was like buying one and then buying a couple of more, and over 5 or 10 minutes scaling into it, and then over the next 20 minutes kind of scaling out of them. That was a beast. to have to log into the spreadsheet and everything. It's so much easier just to buy these bigger option contracts like on Facebook. I think the first contract I bought was like $300. Let me see here real quick. Yeah, the first contract I bought was $345. I sold it for $475. And then the second contract I bought for $525, and I was kind of chasing at this point, but I sold it for $560. So I still made a pretty decent profit, about a $30, $40 profit on that. But yeah, not taking so many trades, it makes the spreadsheet stuff so much easier. It's almost impossible, right? I mean, I was spending sometimes an hour or so, maybe even more, maybe 2-3 hours just plugging everything into the spreadsheet. I'm trying to make things easier for myself, right? Because that's why I'm trading. I'm trading, so that things are a little bit easier. I'm not trading to make my life harder. I'm trading to make my life a little bit easier and more enjoyable, right? And I deserve it. I've been out here for a long time, trying to do something. And, now I'm trading options. So let's go ahead and look at the play. All right. This is the 1-minute chart for Facebook. And we're just going to go to the monitor real quick with my my trade log. So the first, I was buying calls, right? 275 calls. And let me show you my reasoning behind this, right? Obviously, we're at a supply zone, right? This supply zone was from, I think, my 20-day, 1-hour chart. Yes. So when you go back, to the 20-day chart, this is going back, I don't know, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 11 days ago, right? We had a huge sell-off, and the stock, this is Facebook, by the way, in case I didn't say that. The stock just wasn't able to, it made an attempt about 9 days ago, right? Because you can see this candle right here. It made an attempt, or this wick, I should say, this green wick. It made an attempt about 9 days ago and got rejected. So this is a very big supply zone. I mean, these are all-time highs for Facebook, right? The sort of $278 range, all-time highs for Facebook. Now, it's Monday, and the stock has, been creeping up since, Wednesday? So you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Stock has been creeping up. It was creeping up in pre-market, right? And so in the pre-market, let me go back to the 1-minute chart. In the pre-market, right, we kind of had a period of consolidation right here. And so I figured that Facebook was going to make a go at it, right? I figured the bulls were going to be in control. They were going to push this stock up through the supply zone. And I'm honestly quite shocked that it got rejected again. I guess I'm not shocked, but, this supply zone isn't going to last too much longer, because the more times the stock attempts to blow through it and gets rejected, the less likely the next time the supply zone will actually hold, if that makes sense, right? Like, the more times the stock attempts to blow past the supply zone, the weaker the supply zone gets, because there's only so many sell orders up here. But I did manage to catch some of this wave right here. Now, I didn't catch all of it. I caught about half of it, right? And I guess I'm satisfied with where I got out. I could have stayed in a little bit longer, because, well, the first trade I got into was at 9:30, right at the open, right? 9:30.42, right? I didn't waste a second getting in this thing. And it was so bullish, it was so bullish. And, let me see here. Yeah, it was over the 20-period moving average that I have here, right? So that was kind of my that was what really, pushed me into this stock. It was over the 20-period moving average. I also had on WeBull, I had the VWAP and the 200-period moving average, which it was, I think it was over both of those. But this 20-period moving average, right, I jumped in right here on this green candle at 9:30. So the first trade, 9:30 to 9:31, very quick scalp, right? I'm in this trade right here, and I'm out by the top of this green candle right here, right? And the stock only moved, like $2, maybe $1, right? From let's see, 272.43 about to 272. It didn't even move a buck. No, I'm sorry, 271.57. Yeah, so it was about 271, right? And then it moved to 272, close to 273. So a couple dollar move, but with options and the delta, right? Because when I go to the option chain, I try to pick deltas that are above 30, preferably I can't say that word. I can't say it. I prefer that it's more like 35, 36, 37, 40, 45. So the deltas were very, very strong. And the delta is basically like, it's like the dollar amount that you're going to make for, I think it's like every dollar that the stock moves or something. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't completely understand the delta. I understand the theta. The theta is the time decay, right? And a lot of these, they have very extremely high thetas. Like you would not buy these options, the ones that these weeklies, and hold overnight. But I don't care about the theta because I am scalping, right? But the first trade, 930, got rid of it by 931, 160 bucks, right? Or no, about 130. Let me see here. 345, 475. So yeah, you do the math, right? It was about $130. First trade, right? It literally took me 1 minute to do that. Second trade, all right? I got in at 932 and I sold at 934. Now, by this time, I'm kind of chasing here because I see Facebook is, I'm thinking to myself, because I didn't want to hold on to it too long because we are in a supply zone. But because, I forgot to mention this, but because there was a period of consolidation and because the stock had sort of, during the pre-market, right up until the open, it opened in the supply zone and started surging, which is extremely bullish. When a stock is in a supply zone and opens in a supply zone, it just starts going for the moon, right? That's a bullish sign. Unfortunately, the bears took control and, knocked this thing back down. I wasn't around for that. Okay, I wanted to get in and get out and get my profits. But the second trade at 932 to 934, I bought the contract for $525 and I sold it for $560. So when I say I was chasing, right, what I should have done is just held my first trade at 930, held it for at least 3 or 4 candles, right? I got to get better at that. But when I see the profit and I see my account is like, up $100, I just take the profit, right? I'm not trying to make $1 million in one trade. I'm just, I'm just trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? And so I got in at 932, which would have been this candle right here, and I sold at 934, which would be this red candle right here. So let's just zoom in a little bit more. 932 right here, and I sold at 934. And by the time I got in, right, when I sold it, it was 475, the contract. By the time I got back in, this is what I mean when I say I was chasing. It was like $525. And I did manage to sell it for $560, right? And I could have held it longer. I wish I did, right? If I had held it longer, I would have made maybe like $300 or $400 today. But I'm getting better at this, right? It's a little bit of a risky play because you're right at market open. A lot of people, they always say, don't trade market open, right? Kind of wait for the patterns to form. And I'm not a real big pattern trader. Like I do see the patterns. I'm starting to see them. The other day I mapped out, like if you follow my Instagram or my Discord, the other day I mapped out, or I screenshotted a bearish bat, a bearish W or a bearish bat pattern that I'd found. I also had a head and shoulders pattern, bearish head and shoulders pattern that I had noticed and screenshotted and played about a week ago. But I'm not a really big pattern trader. And to be honest with you, I just want to get in the trade and get out as soon as I can, market open if possible. It's a little bit of a risky play. And, I do realize how risky playing the market open is. I'm not playing the market open thinking that it's easy, because it's not. You absolutely can get burned, especially if you don't respect a stop loss and you don't get the heck out when you're wrong. Market open can, destroy you for the day. And then there's, a psychological barrier the rest of the trading day. It's a mess. But I should not, looking back on this now in hindsight, I shouldn't have spent $500 getting back into one of these call options. Right, I probably should have gone to the option chain and gone back, gone down to like one that was like, because there's like, depending on the strike price. I'm not going to explain this entirety. I'm not going to explain it in its entirety, but the lower the strike price, the lower the cost of the option, right? Whether it's puts or calls. So, yeah, or I'm sorry, for puts, that's for puts. For calls, the higher the strike price, as you can see, the less expensive it gets. My point is that, I should have just held the one, right? Like, my upfront cost of, what was it again? $345 eventually would have turned into $525. Like the one that I sold at $525, that was the same call that I bought back into at over $500 at the 932 candle. So what I should have done is, and again, it's market open. I'm still a little bit jittery. I'm brand new. That was the bell. I don't know if you guys heard that. The bell just rang. We're done for the day. Market's closed. It's 4 o'clock. I should have just, held the option that I bought. Maybe, kind of bought another one and just sort of held two of them. This is what I'm going to try to focus on, right? And I should have let it ride a little bit more, right? I'm not unhappy. I made good money, right? I'll take the $160. I'll take the, what was it, a 12% gain in my account. I'll take it. But I had no business spending $500 to get back in. Like $500, that's like a third of my account, and I just can't be spending that much money on an option contract, because if I lose, if it goes against me, right, I'm going to be down a lot very, very fast. I'm going to have to get out. And then I've already spent $500 for the day, right? Like if you look up at my account, I only have $420 left to trade with for the day. So, once you use 500, you can't use that 500 again. Like if I have 1,500 in my account, which I do, I have about 1,500 now. If I use 500, I only have 1,000 left to trade with, right? And so I just, in hindsight, looking back on this, I wish I would have bought one or two contracts here and just sort of rode for even one more candle, right? Made it to the 955 candle or something. But I mean, imagine if I had held this all the way up. I mean, these contracts, they were worth like $700 by the time it was said and done. But I'm glad I did get out where I did, and with a little bit of profit. I left some money on the table, but we all have to do that to we always have to leave money on the table, because you can't just hold these things forever. You'll get burned. But as you guys can see, as the day went on, right, we're talking about 941, 942, and I'm done. Like by the time I saw I was up this much, I literally shut it down. I shut my computer down because I knew I was going to be very tempted to keep trading. Because I still had, $420 left. But as the day went on, the stock, Facebook did get rejected within this supply zone, and it took a turn to the downside. Now, you could have played puts on this, right? It sort of consolidated a little bit, but as you can see, it's leaving the supply zone right here. This is like 1051 now. I'll show you the bigger picture. You could have played this too, right? You could have, we're in the supply zone up here, right, at around this pivot point. You could have said, hey, I think this stock is going to get rejected. You could have bought puts up there and made a nice move to the downside too. So there's a lot of ways potentially that this could have been played, right? I played it to the upside, but I could have just as easily waited, right? If I didn't want to participate in market open, I could have waited and probably would have got in on one of these candles, maybe like this red candle right here with the topping tail, right? Because it's it's actually the third topping tail in a supply zone. And that's a pretty good indication that maybe the stock is going to head in a different direction. And you could have caught that move right there, which probably would have yielded about as much money as the move to the upside. But just kind of a strange day for Facebook, right? Like, not strange, but I was thinking it was going to be more bullish today. I was wrong, but it kind of got rejected, and then it just sort of hovered right under the supply zone here, right around the 277 mark. And I guess it closed. Where did it close? It closed right here at 271. So I suspect probably tomorrow or the next day, this stock is going to make another attempt through this supply zone. Let's look at another one real quick. Like this PayPal's the other stock that I follow. Oh, look at that move to the upside. I was actually watching this down here thinking, oh, I should get in, but there's more money tomorrow to be made. PayPal is also at a supply zone as well. And you can see there's a pattern to these stocks, right? They hit these supply zones and then they kind of get rejected, and then it's going to make another attempt. But I didn't trade PayPal today, but looking forward to trading PayPal probably this week. PayPal and Facebook are the two stocks that I'm going to be following. But now look at this. This is kind of interesting. So Bank of America is actually up, right? Go to Exxon Mobil. Exxon Mobil is actually up, right? So, it just goes to show you that there really is something to this like institutional money thing, right? If you follow the institutional money, you map out the supply and demand zones, and you keep track of what the big wigs are buying and stuff. It's obvious that a lot of money is starting to cycle out of big tech or fintech, and it's going into value stocks. Now, I have been buying up in my Robinhood portfolio, Bank of America, right? I've got a few shares of that, Exxon Mobil, because I also have a long-term dividend strategy, right? Like a dividend investing strategy. So, I want to do it all, right? I want to do it all, the day trading, the long-term investing. But when it comes to the day trading, I'm following specifically a few stocks. And I think with investing too, yes, I want a wide range, and I see myself as a guy that would have like 100 different stocks in the portfolio, but I don't know if that's the best way to go, because yes, the diversity is good because you're sort of hedging, right? In case one stock fails, you've got other stocks that will still keep your portfolio up. But if you know what you're doing and you know which companies are, if you can read the balance sheet and the income statements and all of that, and the stock doesn't have too much debt, and you can pick a good stock, you don't need 100 different stocks in a portfolio. That's the way I kind of feel about it. I think even Warren Buffett said something about that. Like, if you know what you're doing, just pick one good stock. I want to get Berkshire Hathaway Class B shares because they actually buy options and stuff, and it's a pretty good stock. They do a lot of those more long-term option combinations, and so I can kind of have my foot in that without actually having to do it myself. As far as the options trading goes, that's my goal in the future, is to probably eventually start writing calls, writing puts, writing the iron condor, or I don't know if you write that one, actually. I think you buy calls and puts for the iron condor. There's so many different like spreads and combos for options that you can incorporate in a more like long-term or mid-term strategy. So eventually I want to get into that, but right now I'm loving the day trade, right? Just buying the call, selling the call, buying the put, selling the put. I'm loving it. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I haven't been this excited about anything in a very, very long time. So, you know, I'm going to focus on that and really just try to master what it is I'm doing. I'm still doing the long-term investing, and I've got to do a video about that. We will do more long-term investing videos because I know not everybody wants to get into day trading. Not everybody has the time to learn how to do it, but everybody should be investing, right? If you're not investing, you know, I don't know what you're doing, right? You got to get on it. You got to get on it today. If you're interested in opening up a brokerage account with Robinhood or WeBull, you can use my links in the description below. You'll get a free stock, and I'll get a free stock, and you know, it's pretty cool. But you know, if not, still get a brokerage account and start investing today, right? You got to do this now. I'm completely obsessed with stocks, with trading, with investing, and I'm gonna be fucking rich. Hopefully by 2021. That's my goal, is to be on my way to being rich by about January. You know, if I can make, shit, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000. No, I don't really have, I don't have a dollar goal, but I want my account to be up, let's say 500% within the next 2 months. So that'd be like 5,000. No, would that? No, that would that be 500%? If I started with 1,000 and took it to 5,000, would that be 500%? I'm not sure. I'm trying to make about 10,000 before the end of the year. You know, if I was going to put a dollar amount on it, that's kind of my goal. But we'll see how that goes. I got to be real careful because, you know, I do overtrade, right? I have a nasty habit of overtrading. I'm glad I didn't do it today. I left money on the table, right? I wish I would have caught that. Let's go back and look at it. I wish I would have caught this, right? Look at this move. Look at this move on PayPal. I knew I should have bought it too, right? It was oversold. I saw it on the RSI. It had two bottoms. Oh no, and I missed it. It's going to the moon. That is kind of sad. That's because, you know, that's money. It's money right there. You know what I'm saying? And I saw it, and I knew it was gonna go up. No, but in all seriousness, I gotta pay attention to my weaknesses and my blind spots because I have a horrible bad habit of over trading. Sometimes I bag hold. And I don't know why. I really need to stop doing it, right? If I'm down, I just need to be like, it's okay. I just got to get out. And I can't be buying $500 contracts, right? That was crazy. I can't believe I got away with that. And I sort of just did it accidentally. I wasn't even really thinking about it. Like, I just saw that the contract continued to go up, and I was like, oh man, I got out too soon. Let me do it again. And I just sort of bought it. But yeah, you know, I think these things are going to get better. I'm becoming more aware of myself. I'm becoming more aware of, you know, my weaknesses. And, you know, we're just going to take it from there. So let me know your thoughts down below or your suggestions. You know, what are you trading? What are you putting your money in? Comment down below. Is it crypto, stocks? What equities are you into? Options? And, you know, how are you trading it? And make sure to give the video a big fat like. Follow me all over social media. And as always, this is CMC Broadcasting. I'll see you next time. God bless.